Welcome to Funimation Productions. Join us today as we talk candidly with 3 veteran Dragon Ball Z voice actors about Legacy of Goku II on Game Boy Advance.
I am Chris Sabat. I do the voice of Vegeta, Piccolo, Yamcha, and some others on Dragon Ball Z, and all those characters which carry over to Dragon Ball as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Eric?
I'm next. Eric Vale, and I do the voice of Future Trunks, as well as the tournament announcer, and other scattered little voices all through Dragon Ball Z.
And first off, I want to give a shout out to my homies on Vulcan. Yo, all the raps are logical. And my name, no, sorry, I couldn't help it. My name is Sean Shawan. I do the voice of Goku, King Kai, and Nail on Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, and hopefully Dragon Ball GT.
Basically just wanted to kind of get y'all's thoughts on the game. I know, Chris, you've had a chance to play through, I believe it's West City, I think, in the game.
I'm probably halfway through West City at this point. I'm in the Warlords area. I'm actually, honestly, I'm stuck there.
Stuck.
Yeah, I'm stuck. Actually, I'm at a part at Peppertown where Gohan's trying to run through this sort of wooded area, and there are all these little guys with rocket launchers and all these bears and things running around. And just don't even try. I'm telling everyone out there, don't even try to hurt anyone on that level. Just run.
For your life.
But I'm not saying that's going to work either, because as I said, I'm stuck on the game there.
Which happens from time to time. Eric, have you gotten a chance to get to any certain level? Are you stuck somewhere in the game?
I did. I'm not the world's most proficient gamer. I'm not very good at it.
Would you say that you're gaming challenged?
I would probably consider myself gaming challenged. However, that didn't halt me at all from going over to Chris's house last night and playing the beta version on his computer. And it was a blast. It took me right back to Legend of Zelda when I was, like 14. So it was great.
That's cool. I just played it this morning, actually, and I got to the part where I beat Frieza. Well, not the ultimate Frieza, but I beat this illusory incarnation of Frieza, and then I started running around as Gohan. I found his math book. You get to free roam in the game, which I really like, because in the first one you can only move like on an X and a Y axis, and this one you can walk around in any way you want.
Right, you can go in any direction.
Any direction
It's a lot more movement.
Yeah, it's a lot more freedom to it.
It's a
that was really cool.
real fluid game, and believe me, without the free movement in that game, there's no way to beat that game either. Yeah. You have to be able to move diagonally in this game, or you're toasted.
I think it gives a lot more freedom to the gameplay to be able to just kind of go wherever you want to at any time.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I'm a Game Boy Advance owner, so I will be picking it up as soon as it's released.
As you all are.
As we all are Game Advance owners.
Yes, because I get to take home yours,
That's
right?
Yeah. Game Boy.
Thank you. Actually, I wish I had more time to play Game Boy Advance. Maybe with this new game, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
So in the game itself, since it does follow pretty closely, Chris, you and I were talking about this, the game follows pretty closely Trunks through Cell games. In the gameplay itself, what would you say stands out as the most exciting moment thus far in which you've played?
The most exciting moment thus far. Actually, I actually got a lot of thrill out of the music for the game.
I was going to say the same thing.
I like the music so much more than the first one.
Yeah.
And actually, it's not even just that. It's really funny because all the characters are tiny, as we all know, because the screen's only this big. But all the characters are a little tiny, and the music is like this 8-bit, really hyper-realistic, like miniaturized version of the actual music from the show.
The actual music from
It was all the themes that you remember. It was Frieza's theme and Trunks' theme, and but it was all these little tiny Atari-like sounding versions of them.
Yeah.
But it was also they did a really good job, like in between like cut sequences, not even cut sequences, in between scenes, like when it's reloading, it doesn't load a new loop. The loop continues as it loads. Whereas on the first one, I noticed like every time you walked into like a new screen, off the screen onto a new one, the loop would start over again, maybe even with something different, and it was real disjointed. But you really do. It's like playing a PlayStation 2 game, but like this
tiny,
big,
small.
Yeah, it's like miniaturized.
Yeah.
My thoughts on the music of the game are quite interesting. Because last night while I was sitting at Chris's computer playing the game, I was digging the tunes, because I thought it was Chris sitting next to me messing around with his keyboard and all this music software that he's got. I was like, man, that's really good. And he's like, yeah, I didn't do anything.
I didn't do it.
And it was just the music that was off the
From
game.
the game.
Yeah, only he had to pump through the speakers in the room, so it was really loud.
That was sort of I don't think many people will have that experience though,
Yeah.
of like playing their Game Boy Advance through multimedia speaker.
Yeah, and just crank it with a subwoofer.
That's true. But if you can do it, it's really interesting.
And the good news is, by the time this game releases, the Game Boy SP will be out in the marketplace, which will
I'm excited. Will be buying. I've actually promised this to a friend of mine. I said, look, I'm getting a Game Boy SP, and I'm going to send you my Game Boy Advance because it's got a backlit screen and it's lithium chargeable ion battery, and it flips, and you get 10 hours with the light on and 18 hours with the light off. The screen's not going to get scratched up.
All on Legacy of Goku II.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
All on Legacy of Goku II. Absolutely. That's the only game we're going to play. I'm throwing out all my other games. I'm kidding.
I'm going to just play Legacy of Goku 2 for 18 hours with the lights
Yeah,
off.
with the lights off. Yeah,
Which is good for your eyes. You do it really close.
yeah, that's really good.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the biggest difference is in being a voice actor for an animated series, which maybe you guys can take me through how that works, as opposed to doing voices for a video game, whether it be for PS2, because I know you all did voices for Budokai,
Right.
or for a Game Boy Advance. What are the major differences in the feel and how you approach that?
Well, actually, in Budokai it was actually just like doing the TV show, but more difficult because they had already done the CG animation for the characters,
Right.
and the flaps, though the mouth flaps were very good, we were reacting scenes we had done several years ago, and it's. The animation tends to be a little more fluid than CG, so it was kind of tricky to redo all that. And then as far as a Game Boy Advance game, usually for something like this, unless there's on-screen dialogue, which we hadn't had to do yet, they will pull something from an audio file that we've already done. So
They'll take an audio file and just marry that with an actual...
yeah, we don't even have to come in to record for a Game Boy Advance game. At least we haven't thus far. And I can't imagine that we would in the future, because audio files take up so much data that they've got to reserve a lot of the space for on the cartridge for the game itself.
Okay.
So I can only imagine maybe one yell or one sound effect, or maybe me saying Kamehameha just once in a tiny little compressed wave for Game Boy Advance. Whereas on Budokai, oh my gosh, I think it took me 10 hours to record all of Goku's dialogue, and that was just my character. And Chris has several characters he does, so it might have taken him several days.
So as far as the evolution of each of your characters, Goku, Trunks, Vegeta, Piccolo, as the major characters, if you had to take your character from the beginning of the Trunks saga through Cell games, what are the major changes and maybe the evolution of each of your characters through those sagas?
I think Goku gets a little less naive, just a little. By the time he has to fight Cell, I think he realizes that in order to fight an enemy like Cell, that he's got to kind of get in the character's head, and the problem is Cell's so evil and Goku's so good, he's got to kind of think like Cell a little bit and kind of understand how he's going to beat this guy. And that causes him, I think, to be a little less naive. Just maybe like if he was 100% naive, like 2% less, because he still stays pretty goofy and naive all the way up into GT as well. So, but yeah, it changed him. It made him a little more battle hardened, And he also got really wise about. He was like, he knew the whole time. Instead of playing his own power, he was like, all right, I know my son can beat him, but my son doesn't even know that. And if I, reveal that, he played a kind of a mental chess game with Cell instead of using raw power to beat him. He's like, okay, I'm gonna play this guy, wear him down, and then I'm gonna unleash my son on him without, because if he had told him that, Cell would have went after Gohan, but he kept it a secret and played a mental. So he got wiser and smarter, and
It's interesting.
that was kind of my take on it.
Very interesting.
Yeah, during that particular saga, there was a big evolution for Vegeta. He became a Super Saiyan for the first time.
That's right.
That was actually a pretty cool moment.
That was very cool.
Training and...
Well, you actually don't see him training per se, except in a flashback when he explains the whole story. He shows up and asks Android 18 if androids experience fear, and then goes on this long story about he was training so hard in outer space, and right when he thought he was, all was for nil and he was going to die, and this huge asteroid was coming towards him, he let go of everything and finally became the Super Saiyan that he wanted to be. The Super Saiyan that we all want to be.
I think Vegeta finally found self-love. Found the beautiful man.
I think Piccolo spent a lot more time in the icebergs around then, too.
That's right. He was
I love Piccolo. I'm a big Piccolo fan, but that's another story.
Trunks got a lot beefier during that stage, remember?
Trunks got pumped up real hard. Yeah.
Then you go metal. Is that when he went metal with the long hair?
Hyper,
All heavy metal?
yeah, it was after he was in. That's what I was going to say. He was in the
Okay.
hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
And
Could get a haircut.
And wait, there's no barber,
There's no
in, the
barber in the
hyperbolic time chamber. So yeah,
Plenty of time though.
there's that point.
Be good business.
Yeah, it would be. It would.
Time for double the money.
Yeah, I would say that was probably my, as far as the character Trunks goes, my favorite time, because it's really when he learned a lot about his father and what a wonderfully charming individual Vegeta can be.
Right, right.
He met his father for the first time, yeah.
He was on his quest to make sure that
Yeah, when we first got back.
no one underestimated the power of the androids.
Yeah, over and over.
Never underestimate the power of the android.
Oh yeah.
You don't understand how powerful they are. Oh, you just don't understand. Over and over.
No, but you know what? He was right. No one did.
No one did, and then they did kick
Okay,
everybody's
all right.
tail. and That's
And so
funny.
in the game itself, since it pretty much follows the storyline, how would you say the developers have captured each of your favorite scenes through those sagas and the evolution of each of your characters?
Oh, that's a really deep question. First of all, I didn't get far enough into the game to get that far. The only thing I think I can comment on the game is just it's really well designed, very charming, and they really captured the imagery and how the characters behave and react, and then the dialogue really seems to follow the series almost verbatim in some cases.
It really does.
It
Yeah,
really does.
very,
That's
very
what I can
close.
comment on that. Yeah, and that it just plays along that storyline, and you have it's like you're in the storyline. So I haven't got far enough to see how the characters develop, but I can only imagine that with that level of detail early on in the game
That's what I appreciated was the detail.
Yeah.
Detail in that, yes, Trunks' hair is purple. That was great.
Yeah.
And the transformation when he goes Super Saiyan it's there. It's not just purple hair, blonde hair. There's a transformation.
And when he's trying, he's little bitty and trying. It's this little guy trying, and then he doesn't try, and he didn't make it. And he tries again. That's really funny. And Gohan has no arm, like he's not supposed to.
Yeah, he even says it.
He says it in the dialogue.
I have no arm.
I like in the second version where it really does, as you were saying, it does follow the script almost verbatim.
Yeah,
when you
close.
walk your character up to another character and click a button to talk to them, you get a line, and if you click it again, you'll get another line. Another actual line of dialogue. Like if you go and, Gohan goes up and clicks on Bulma, and she says one line, and then you can go click on somebody else. And if you want to, you can go back and click on Bulma again, and she'll see another line that she said during that scene too. So actually, if you keep going around, I noticed if you keep going around to all the characters, I think you can actually get all the dialogue.
Now, is this dialogue from the actual
Oh yeah,
animation?
this is actual dialogue, word for word, transcribed onto the.
Chris would definitely know better than us because he had to direct everyone for that.
One of
So.
them.
Yeah, and as you were saying, I think so far, now granted I haven't gotten far enough, and I've gotten a pretty good ways, but I haven't gotten far enough. I really did like the scene towards the beginning that details Trunks and Gohan training, and Trunks wanting to help Gohan fight the androids, and
Going Super
Gohan
Saiyan.
bopping him on the back of the head. That was good stuff.
Yeah, that was cool. They did that scene when he bops on the back of the head. It's a fun game, and I'm a gamer, and Infogrames I play a lot of Infogrames games, a lot in general, yeah.
So
On my
speaking
PS2.
of being a gamer, who would you say is the most avid gamer out of you three? And having said that,
No, it's
there's fingers
Savage.
pointing everywhere here.
It's Savage, dude. You have more games than I do. I
have more games,
I was a more avid
gotta
gamer
play.
than in college, maybe, but I had to sell my systems just so I could.
Did you want a Game Boy Advance extra super power, whatever you
yeah,
were
I do.
talking about
I
earlier, so
brought
you can
my-
play it for
I carry my-
18 hours in the dark, Sean?
And you brought it with
I do
you
have
from New York.
a modded out pink Dreamcast. I took it apart and put it in a pink shell. It's translucent like this, but it's pink.
And he was pointing at me.
Yeah, and he was pointing at
I still think you're a more avid gamer.
My game console's in its original black case.
Who out of all of you do you think is going to finish Legacy of Goku 2 first?
Well, if I get,
Your fingers are going this way.
I have had less time to play games lately, but I'll probably finish it first. I'm gonna go back and play one again. And
See, if Sean gets the Game Boy Superpower, or the SP, or whatever it's called,
SP.
he'll probably finish the game because he can play for 18 hours in the dark.
then straight in the dark, or
Yeah,
10
the
hours with the backlight.
Because you have your system that you built on your own.
Oh, well, I just modded the case. I didn't, and I have an Xbox and a PS2 also.
Game Boy Advance, Xbox, PS2, not a gamer. Yeah.
I've actually owned every.
Dreamcast,
I've had every system. I've had the TurboGrafx. I had Super NES. I had Sega CD. I had them all.
I have a lot of games, I think, though, only because I'm a completionist. I like to have everything. If it's a PS2 game, I want to try and have every single PS2 game, not that I'll ever play them. Yeah. Sean actually likes to finish the games.
Sometimes. I like
All the way through to completion.
I like to finish them, yeah.
There was a long time where we just couldn't get in touch with Sean. We were trying to reach him, and he was just playing Echo the Dolphin over and over and over.
Actually, I bought Echo the Dolphin from my Game Boy Advance.
I know you did.
Because I played it on the...
I wasn't joking.
So what would you all say your favorite genre of games are between fighting and role playing and the different types of games that are out there in the market? What's your favorite game that you're naturally drawn to in style?
Definitely RPGs, fighting games, racing games.
I think we're covering all of them.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Driving games, walking games, running games.
Fighting games, RPGs.
I even like those cute games like the Animal Crossing game on the GameCube where you. That's a really cool game, and I like Monkey Ball, but I don't have a cube anymore because well, it's a long story. But I'll be getting a new one soon. But definitely, I'm a big fighting game fan. I love Budokai and stuff like that, and Virtua Fighter 4, Tekken.
I particularly like. I just like violent games, really.
You like those wacky, like Mr. Mosquito type games.
I love.
You like wacky, goofy games.
Yeah, I like violent and vulgar games for the most part. Mr. Mosquito, I love. I like Blood Rain.
Blood Rain's good.
Baldur's Gate, I like. Yeah.
And Grand Theft Auto.
Of
course, revolutionized the entire video game industry.
Yeah, true.
I have a GameCube because I have a 10-year-old boy, and it's important that I practice on the GameCube so I can just get whipped over and over again by him. Yeah. So yeah, I play a lot of those kinds of games, and I also play Battlefield 1942. That's the only adult game I play. Everything else is, Metroid Prime.
Well, I do like 3D
Aqua.
Unreal Tournament. Unreal's awesome, and Halo is amazing.
So with the Legacy of Goku II covering Trunks through Cell games, would any of y'all have any, at the point that y'all played the game, thus not all the way through, have any tips or tricks? For game players, maybe on the first.
Read the instruction manual. Yeah, that would. Reading the instruction manual because I was like, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? And I didn't have it because it's in beta, and so I didn't have an instruction manual.
Sean needs 18 hours worth of batteries to figure out a game. I didn't have much trouble figuring it out after a while. Maybe Sean just had limited time to play it.
It was morning.
I spent a long time playing it. My advice is run. Run. When you get to the warlord level, you have to run fast. Oh, another thing, I don't think this was in the first game. If you double click in a direction, your character will run really fast.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
For you guys.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, great.
If you double click and hold, he'll run faster than his normal kind of walking around that he does,
cool.
which can get you around West City a lot faster.
Oh,
That's good.
Closing thoughts from any of you guys going out to the Dragon Ball Z fans?
we love you.
Yeah, good luck with the game. As I said, run when you're in the Warlords area, and run if you hear some guy in your room playing the Game Boy SP in the dark on 18 hours worth of batteries.
And doing the voices himself.
Yeah, that would be Sean reading the tiles.
Reading it.
And now I get to say my next line again.
No, I'm kidding.
No, good luck, guys. It's gonna be a great game.
Go get yourself a copy of the game.
No, that's my Chris.
Get it, play it till your fingers bleed.
No, get the game and get the Game Boy Advance SP. And I want to say thanks to all the Dragon Ball Z fans out there who've made my experience on the show just absolutely fantastic and phenomenal, and going out and meeting them. And thanks, Dragon Ball Z fans, and pick up this now. Do it now. Do it now. Pick up the game.
And Jeremy, I'm sorry. I took your Game Boy Advance.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks for being with us.
I'm gonna hide mine.
Thank you.